The show has gone international. Amazing. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Good to see you. Before I get started, I just want to give a quick word of thanks to David, Tommy, Pete, Michael, Tom, and Cameron. Those gentlemen support me on Patreon, and just the mere fact that whatever it is that I do here, people find of value, means a lot to me, so thanks a lot. The show has gone international. I got a question from someone in France. Now, I got a question, I think, a couple of months ago from someone in India. So, certainly, you know, it wasn't the first time, but it still kind of blows me away that someone in another country can find of interest something that let's be cautiously optimistic and say middle-aged guy in Indiana has to say. So thank you. I appreciate it. And bonjour. Konnichiwa to all my friends in Japan. And of course, my brothers and sisters in the Philippines, kamusta ka? I will see you soon, hopefully. We'll be sitting on a beach sharing a mango shake. So, speaking of value, which I was, got a couple of things that I have found of value, and then one thing that's just kind of fun. So the first thing is I stumbled across a guy who calls himself Mr. Money Mustache about a year ago, I think. He was on Tim Ferriss a long time ago, and Tim ran one of his old podcasts, and it was really amazing. And the guy, you know, basically took a look at his retirement income that he and his wife had both amassed, which was, you know, I'm going to be honest, was not a small amount of money, as I remember. And he started doing the ciphering, the maths, and decided that if they could live on, I think it was $24,000 or $25,000 a month, or a year, $24,000 or $25,000 a year, they could just retire and live off their the proceeds from their retirement accounts. And so that's what he did. And he is a big proponent of bicycles for transportation. And he's also not, you know, obviously to live off of that amount of money, as I well know, you have to be pretty frugal. And you have to be very intentional about what you buy. And he did a blog post several months ago about cell phone plans, about just how horrendously expensive cell phone plans were, as I fumble into my... Oh, well, I didn't even bring my phone with me. And he listed off like 4 or 5 different cell phone plans that were, you know, $15 or $20 a month, as opposed to, you know, like I was paying $70-something a month for, I think, 5 gigs of data, which I never came close to using. So one of the companies that he recommended was Mint Mobile. And Mint Mobile is the company that either Ryan Reynolds either owns or has a big chunk of. And I thought, well, Deadpool's not going to steer me wrong. So I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a try. And you go to the website and you put in the IMEI number from your phone, and if you don't know where to find that, they tell you where to find it. And your zip code. And it'll tell you what kind of service you can expect. Mint runs off the T-Mobile network. So And they send you a SIM card and you try it. You prepay for like 3 months, and then if you don't like it, you can bail and go back to your other cell phone provider. And I got to tell you, it's worked really well, at least in central Indiana and in South Florida. The service has been, what I would expect, and it's saved me a tremendous amount of money. So that's one thing that I have found that has been extremely valuable to me. And if you want to try it out, I'll put a link down in the description and you can try it. And I think if you use my referral link, you get $15, and I think I get $15. So that's great. I started wearing watches again. And I can't really tell you why. I mean, other than the fact that it had just been a long time since I had worn a watch. And, maybe it is that I got tired of reaching into my pocket for my phone every time I wanted to know what time it was. And then maybe, just maybe, I've gotten finally used to this decoration that I have on my arm now, and subconsciously I'm trying to draw attention to it. That could be too. So one of the things about watches, not unlike your handlebar tape, is that it's fun to change them up every now and again. But if you don't have a spring bar tool to replace the band, you can get it out with something else, but you're going to run the risk of that spring bar shooting across the room, and then you're never going to find it. So I found these Barton watch bands made in Austin, Texas, and they make them for, all kinds of different watches. They make them for the Apple Watch, silicone, canvas, sailcloth, you name it. And what they have is a quick release. So there's a little button on the side of the, underneath, and you just slide that thing over and the watch band pops off and you can put a new one on. And I thought that was pretty neat. Barton watch bands. And there was one more thing. Watches. Oh. So I've spoken, it feels like at length now, about 2020 and all the time for self-reflection and self-worth, or the lack of self-worth, self-work. And I started listening to the 10% Happier podcast. The 10% Happier is run by a guy named Dan Harris, who very famously had a panic attack on national television back in the 90s. He was working for Good Morning America as a newsreader. And, he obviously tells the story much better than I ever could, but he was very driven to climb the ladder in this corporate media that he was in, and things just kind of came to a head and he melted down. So he had a choice to make, which was probably a lifetime of anti-anxiety meds or meditation. That is a gross simplification of the story, but I think it's largely true. And he chose the latter. And, the podcast, admittedly, for me, gets a little too touchy-feely, but it also doesn't really preclude your, if you had a previous religion, it's not going to preclude you from, still practicing that. I've found a lot of the episodes to be very instructive, and it's just, again, I think it's really worthwhile, and it has brought me value. 10% Happier podcast, and I'll put a link down there, but if you go to any of your podcast providers and just type in 10% happier, you'll find it. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for all the comments and subscriptions and likes, and it's just it's really been good, and I appreciate it very much. And like I say, I hope that whatever I do here does provide you with some value. Till next time, be nice, work hard, ride bikes, play music when you can. I'll talk to you soon.